So hello guys, today I'll be explaining the ASPA incident and how it is important for exam from the point of essay writing and for 10 and 20 marks. So I'll be explaining in brief the ASPA and its implication in Nagaland. So recently there was an incident in which 14 villagers and a soldier died in in Nagaland's Mon district after an army operation to track down insurgents went off script. And police FIR has said that Army's 12 para special forces open fire blank at the civilians. So this is the current affairs for this. The recent killing of civilians by security forces in a case of alleged mistaken in India has once again rekindled the debate over the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, a law that gives enormous discretionary powers to the armed forces over a civilian population. So the ASFPA, which was passed in 1958 to control the insurgent in Naga areas, was a law passed to give the militant military forces powers to arrest or kill a person without any warrant or on mere suspicion. So this has rekindled a debate on whether ASPA is needed in today's generation. So a brief history of the ASPA. So after the Quit India movement, we know that the Indian National Army was formed to fight off the British in India, led by Subhash Chandra Bose, and there was an alliance between the Indian National Army and the Japanese forces. And the Indian National Army we know was founded by Ras Bihari Bose, who led the Indian National Army alongside the Japanese forces, and they were defeated in the Battle of Kohima in 1944. So with the impending danger, Lord Lindenco, who was the Viceroy of India during the time, passed the Armed Forces Special Powers Ordinance in 1942, and this was similar to ASPA, which deliberated power to the commission officers to act in any manner and apply forces whenever required. So the commission officers, uh, those army were given full control to kill anyone, destroy property, and had unconditional power of arrest. So this draconian law of the British era was brought to the post-independent India in 1958 by the then Home Minister of Nagaland, Home Minister of India, G.B. Pant, Govind Ballabh Pant, who passed the uh, ASPA Armed Forces Special Powers Act in 1958. And the reason for passing the ASPA was the insurgency in Northeast area. We know that after independence, the Nagas and the Indians were in war with each other as Nagas were asking for independence. And this led to militant uprisings, and as a result of this, the ASPA Act was passed in 1958. And since then, many states were brought under the ASPA. In 1970, Manipur was brought. In Manipur, the most prominent figure is Irom Sharmila, who protested against this ASPA, and she fasted for 16 years from 2000 to 2016. So the next is Tripura, which was passed in 1990 to 1997, and Assam was brought from 1958 to 1990, where Nagaland was part of Assam, and 1983 Punjab after the during the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi, where a lot of Sikh soldiers were killed, and in 1990 in Jammu Kashmir against the militant groups. So what are the sections of the ASPA Act? So the ASPA Act is a very dreadful and draconian law. According to Section 3, that a in order to declare an area as disturbed, the governor of a state or the administrator of a state or the union government, if it feels that the area is disturbed, for example, in Nagaland, the governor or the administrator or the central government can declare a part of or a whole part of the state to be disturbed. For example, it can declare the whole Nagaland to be disturbed, or a part of Nagaland, for example, Peren, Dimapur, Kohima, anything. So the power lies with the state government, with the state governor or the administrator or the central government to declare an area or the whole or part of area to be disturbed. And this may be passed by a notification in the official gazette declaring the whole state or part to be disturbed area. So this is the third section 3 of the ASPA Act. Following the application of section 3, the section explains disturbed area as and is declared disturbed area under section 3 of the ASPA Act, and this disturbance can be attributed due to disputes or differences between different religion, racial, language, and regional groups or caste communities. And the authority is the central government, the governor of a state, or an administrator of a state. That is, the governor of Nagaland, Jagdish Mukhi, can declare, or an administrator or the central government can declare the area to be disturbed. And following this, the Home Ministry is the appropriate authority for application of this ASPA Act to declare an area to be disturbed. Next is the Section 4. So after application of Section 3, Section 4 comes in power. That is, any officer of the Army or the Armed Forces, any commissioned officer, warrant officer, non-commissioned officer, or any other person equivalent to the rank in the Armed Forces can kill or destroy a building on mere suspicion that it can shoot to kill a person or destroy a building on mere suspicion. That is, if he or she is convinced that there is danger to the public. And a non-commissioned officer of any, that is even a Jawan, can use force on opinions and suspicions to arrest without warrant or to kill. And he can fire upon anyone without carrying anything that may be used as a weapon. So he can also fire at anyone who carries, for example, simple implements like dao or axe or anything. So which was the case in the incident in Mon. So the next section is section 6 of the ASPA Act, which gives the protection to the armed forces while he or she is using that power. So once implemented, no prosecution shall be initiated against the person except the previous sanction of the central government. That is, the central government must must give give sanction that yes, he should be prosecuted. Without the sanction of the central government, no proceedings can be initiated against that person. Hence, in conclusion, we can give that the Armed Forces Act gives power to maintain public order. They have also the authority to prohibit a gathering of 5% and 5% or more, and can even open fire after giving warning. If reasonable suspicion exists, the army can also arrest a person without a warrant. So without a warrant, and search and enter premises without a warrant. And the arrested person can be taken to the police station with the details that led to the arrest. So next. So currently, which state are in under ASPA? In under ASPA, Nagaland, Assam, and Manipur are there. Except in Manipur, the Imphal Municipal Council area has been excluded. In Arunachal Pradesh, not all district, only Changlang, Longding, and Tirap district, and those areas falling within the jurisdiction of 8 police station in the district of Arunachal Pradesh bordering Assam. So these are the areas under which the ASPA Act has been initiated. So why has the ASPA Act been controversial? Because it has been controversial because there are numerous violations of human rights while initiating this act. Aram Sharmila, as I told you, has been against this and ongoing hunger strike from November 2000 and till 2016. She went for hunger strike against this act, and her reason was that in the town of Malam, where 10 people were killed while waiting at a bus stop, innocent civilians. So some Supreme Court judges have opined that ASFPA should be rebuilt, such as the Justice B.P. Jivan Reddy in 2005 recommended that ASPA should be rebuilt and uh, provisions should be inserted instead in the UAPA Act 1967, and the grievance cell should be set up in each district where the armed forces has been deployed. The ARC report, the fifth ARC report, also recommended the repeal of ASPA. So the next is the Justice Verma Committee in 2013 and Justice Hegde Commission in 2013 also supported the need to address the abuses under the ASPA and to end the effective impunity enjoyed by security forces. See, the ASPA Act gives the armed forces numerous powers, so this act should be removed in order to end the powers enjoyed by the Supreme Court by the security forces. And HD Commission 2013 has also held that there are many cases of extrajudicial execution, that is, without any warrant or arrest, people are killed. So, what are the justification given by the armed forces? That is, in the army's opinion, ASPA Act is absolute requirement to handle insurgency in the country, and forces need complete protection against this act. And also, the moral and integrity of the army personnel from legal matters arising of this operation should be the moral and integrity of the army personnel should be maintained in order to do their duties uh, without any problems. So, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that the ASPA Act should be rebuilt. Instead, regulation should be provided in the others Act, such as the UAP Act, to repeal this draconian law, and also elaborate rules with respect to matter of investigation should be initiated. Human rights violations should be dealt strictly, and all the details of the arrest and killing should be kept in public domain so as to forward investigation, and insurgency should be dealt with dialogues with the insurgent groups such as the NSC and IMK, and at the end only development through the northeast through industrialization and infrastructure development is the key of ending this violence and problem once and for all. So with this, the act on ASPA has been explained, and this question may be asked for essay or for 10 or 20 marks in the exam for NBC mains. So thank you all and have a great day.